By the way, we're talking with Charlie Mitchell. He is with Take Action News, our editor-in-chief. Charlie, I want to play for you a clip. The Senate did manage to pass something this week. They did manage to pass an internet sales tax, and here's what it sounded like in the Senate chamber when they did. Listen.
Are there any senators in the chamber wishing to vote or wishing to change their vote? If not, the yeas are 69, the nays are 27. The bill as amended is agreed to.
Oh my goodness, the Senate actually passed something. A tax? They passed a tax? Charlie, what is in this legislation and what are the chances and how would this affect things for internet users?
Right. Well, this is a fascinating vote, David. As you mentioned, 69 votes in the Senate in favor of a tax policy, and that included, almost half of the Republicans who voted. A little more than half voted against it. But it's a really fascinating vote. What the bill does is it basically enables states to collect taxes on your online purchases. You go online and you buy something from somewhere across the country or whatever. Most likely you don't pay a sales tax on that, even in some cases, though you should. It just, honestly, 99% of people aren't paying a sales tax on these kind of purchases unless they're buying from an establishment that has a physical presence in their own state. So, I live in the District of Columbia. I'm buying something that's being shipped from California. I'm not paying any tax. District of Columbia would like to have some of that tax. And the state of, pick a state. The state of Georgia would like to have taxes on the purchases their citizens are making because the states are facing this incredible state-level budget crunch. So what happened is you have Republican governors, some Republican senators who have teamed up with Democrats largely for two reasons. Number one, because states need more money in their revenue, and this looks like a way to get it. And number two, some segments of the conservative movement think this is a matter of fairness, that, you pay a sales tax when you purchase something in a store. Why should you not pay a sales tax when you purchase something online? Now, and from the conservative perspective, they would say that somebody else has to pick up the tax burden if this tax isn't assessed. But that isn't the majority view within the conservative movement. The majority of conservatives think that this is an outrageous overreach and it shouldn't be done. So this bill is going to have a lot of trouble when it moves over to the House side. Even though it got all of these Republican votes, it's pretty interesting to me to look at the no votes on this. Mitch McConnell, the minority leader, voted no, and I imagine that he will be talking. He tries to stay in line with the Tea Party elements and the anti-tax people, and I think that's very reflective. But then you have guys like Charles Grassley from Iowa and Orrin Hatch from Utah, who both are considered conservatives, but they're considered conservatives who will engage on tax questions and in the past have been the type of people you would look to for compromises. They voted no, and part of the reason is I don't think that they want to have the uprising from the Tea Party on their right flank for supporting this, and I think that kind of pressure is going to be much more evident when this bill gets over to the House side, and Tea Party activists will be able to bring a lot of pressure to bear against Republicans on that side, much more than they can against a senator who has a much broader constituency. For House members, these type of things can really be a killer situation. So you have the Republican senators from Georgia and the Republican senators from Tennessee who voted yes on this. All four of those senators voted yes for this tax policy. I would be very surprised if you see any kind of unanimity among the Republicans in the House delegation from those states. As a matter of fact, I would bet that most of the Republicans in the Tennessee and Georgia House delegations will vote against this because they are much, much more sensitive to Tea Party pressure and anti-tax pressure.
Charlie Mitchell, Take Action News, editor-in-chief. Charlie, great stuff as always. Nobody better than you. Thanks so much for coming on the program. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, great. Thank you, David.
Charlie Mitchell. You can always catch his stuff at TakeActionNews.com. He also contributes to Pop Vox here on Take Action News and We Act Radio. We're going to continue by talking about some legislation that will affect your cable bills if it's passed and what you can do to influence outcomes. You're listening to Take Action News on We Act Radio.